Yo, what's going on, YouTube? We're back at it again. At reacting. Yep, you already know. Yeah, I like videos. What can I say? Guilty. Today we're watching The Hate for Baby No Money. I don't know how anyone could hate this guy. He's my GOAT. He's my GOAT. Been watching him for years. But you know what the vibes are. Let's get right into the video, baby.
So the hate for specific pieces of music or even artists that make said music has been around for a while, with a key example
Who
being
is that?
Rick Astley's Never
Oh
Gonna Give
my.
You Up.
Did I
That
just
was
get Rickrolled
primarily
again?
hated because the song was used to troll
Bro, I
people
haven't been
with the
Rickroled in
so-called
years.
Rick roll, where the first 5 seconds of the
You
song
just
would be
did to
played at
me.
the victim's inconvenience.
I can hear it in my head.
To a link where they were encouraged to click on it, or with
Oh
it being
my.
unexpectedly placed in
Fuck
the
this
middle
guy.
of a random video.
You, Tyler. What
This
the
internet
hell?
trend and song is probably responsible for causing so much
Rickroll
PTSD for those who existed on the
PTSD.
internet in the early 2000s.
Bro, I hear it. I
and
don't
it's
even
probably
need to
why
hear
most
it.
have
I hear it in my
extreme
head
paranoia when
subconsciously.
clicking on any YouTube link. It also meant that one, Rick Astley was only mainly known for this one song,
Yep,
despite
he
releasing
was.
a variety of other music that were relatively
funny,
well
dude.
received. And two, a lot of people hated that song because of its overuse, which apparently even included the singer himself, as it said he has a complicated relationship with the song. But the hate for specific songs to the point where
I mean, it's
sometimes the
iconic
creators
for a
of said
reason.
songs share a portion of the hate isn't exactly uncommon.
I feel like it's the same thing where it's like things get popular because you overuse the hell out of it. It's like the fucking Vine boom. Vine's dead, but people still use it because fucking boom, you know? Like, let's be honest. It's iconic because you just fucking overfeed it to people. You just keep using it until people love it or hate it. Either or, they associate it with you. It's like VTubing, I guess. People get just exposed to it through clips a lot, and then people just get used to it more and more and more, and they're like, damn, I might catch a stream. You know, well, that's my take. Let's get back into it.
Recent examples involve people like KSI, who made the song Thick of It, released in 2024,
yeah,
which
prime
was read
example.
so poorly. I think even the
People
deaf
just got
community
exposed to it a
complained they had
ton.
ruptured eardrums as a result of it. And KSI was not spared from public scrutiny, with many telling him never to make another song again. But in his defense, he did manage to turn
Bro was
the
just
hate around
farming
in a way
hate.
where it benefited
He was
him,
hate farming.
which primarily came down to rage baiting people and getting
Yep.
into a public feud with
Rage
Dan
baiting.
TDM. And even more recently, as I've witnessed
fight was
on
so
Instagram
one-sided, by the way.
Reels, there are people throwing their fecal matter at the VTuber Iron Mouse all of a sudden for a song
Yeah.
called Cry For Me. But strangely enough,
Oh
they have
my
only recently
days, yeah.
started shitting on it due to some controversy surrounding her, because that song was initially released over
Yeah.
9 months ago with
That was a
barely
while
any
ago.
negative feedback, until once again recently where people decided it was
meme.
so cringe and so bad they actually
The
had to
memes.
apologize to KSI for shitting on him. And people took it so far they actually temporarily got
Yeah,
her
they took it
song
off
removed from
Spotify, from what I
Spotify,
heard.
on top of sending a lot of hate her way. And to be honest, being the person that only listens to Childish Gambino, Nuja Bez, Tame Impala, and
yeah.
the Devil May Cry 5 soundtrack, I don't think it was that
I
bad
mean,
of a
hey, same. Yo, fuck with me with Devil May Cry, bro. That is fire. I need to actually play through the games, like officially. I haven't done that, but catch a stream for that one. It's about to be lit.
song, and if you just remove
Oh my
the
God.
part going wah wah wah,
Wah,
around
wah.
the chorus, nobody would have anything to complain about.
Literally.
And Iron Mouse most certainly did not deserve the amount of backlash she received.
It's just she was
for
already
this song.
associated with,
I'm
like,
pretty sure it's getting
a
more
lolly.
hate than that one Kanye
I think
song.
so. Because of the models? That didn't help.
However, with all of these examples, I think there is one
my
person that
God,
even
Pepsi.
more recently has become the internet's
Yeah,
new
Baby
punching
No
bag
Money.
and has received so much
Still
hate
don't get
that
it.
they made a
I still
post
understand
where
why.
if they received 1 million likes, they would retire from making music. And that post to this day has over 4 million likes, 4 times what he was asking for, on top of the plethora of posts of people expressing their
mean,
opinion that they hate
I feel like
everything
people
from
like-
his music to
just
him
like-
himself.
Especially on
I do not
TikTok.
like this song.
People just like to like.
do not come to
I
my
like
job.
and just scroll on.
Which has
I
had
don't
an
even watch the
effect
video.
on said artist
Just
as
like
a
it.
result.
It's really
And
weird.
this artist kind of came out of nowhere before one could say being forced down
What?
everyone's throats, being seen almost everywhere with every influencer. But that person and who
He's
this
been around for
video is about is
years.
BBno Money, or Alexander Leon Gumutian.
That's his
who right now
name.
is being
I know his
treated
name
like
was Alex,
the
but
flashlight of the internet, and he is probably
I
one of
know
the
the rest
most
of that.
hated people on the internet right now, or at least Instagram Reels. But before we
Instagram
get into
Reels, really?
why he is so
Charlie!
hated, does
Oh
he
my
deserve the hate,
God!
and
That's
some
my
events
goal.
that may have caused said
What?
hate, we first, as always,
forget
need
the music
to know
videos are
who BBno
pretty
Money
crazy.
is.
Come up. Oh, copyright. Oh, yep, he silenced me. I could tell just for
BBno
quiet.
Money, or Alex,
Played
was
like a little
born
teeny
June
bit.
30th, 1995 in Vancouver, Canada.
Damn.
Yes, he's Canadian. The nice
I've been
people
knowing
that
he's
you
Canadian.
wouldn't
He's
want to be in an
30?
opposing trench against or accept any tinned goods from
No
them.
way,
He was son
BBno
to an
Money's
Armenian
30.
father and Danish-Swiss
I
mother,
thought bro
and
was
despite
like
what you may
at
think,
least
when he popped out
28.
of the womb, he wasn't able
Maybe
to top those
25.
Rise of the Valkyrie
He
from
doesn't
memory,
look
or even
old.
rival the greatest
I
of
guess.
our time,
He
DJ
isn't old,
Toenail.
but I don't know. Bro.
He actually found music
Close the app.
rather late in life compared to other artists, and if things went as
Ah,
planned
that's
in his life, he probably
iconic.
wasn't going to make any music at all.
That's my
Alex
goat.
was
That was
homeschooled
my
for a
goat.
lot of his early years, and in an interview in 2019, he recounts his mother trying to get him into piano, but he found it difficult to both read music and understand music
Look
theory.
at him now.
His homeschooling would end when he reached high
He's
school,
more of a
of
singer.
which the transition from homeschooling to public
Or rapper,
schooling, he has
if you really could say.
briefly stated it made him a bit of a weird
Fire
kid,
shirt,
which I
though.
think is understandable when you transition from learning at home with most of your contact being the teachers that were probably your mother and father to a public school with other kids and teachers that most times are underpaid and detest your very existence. However, despite being in an unfamiliar environment, he both discovered listening to music recreationally and a hobby which he wanted to
Love
pursue
music,
in
bro.
the future, which actually
Listen
was
to BBno
nothing
Money every
to do
day.
with music and was instead
least once a day.
competitive swimming.
My
This
daily
actually
BBno
was
Money
where
intake.
his name BBno Money came from, as
BBno
when he was
Moolah.
a competitive swimmer, he was known as BBno Chlorine, which if you
BBno
even
Chlorine.
believed me for a second there, you may be clinically
I
brain
was about
dead.
to say,
I
that
was
does
just
not
checking
exist.
Your dumbass is still listening and
Like,
not
nuh-uh.
disassociating and drooling
That doesn't
over
sound
there
believable.
whilst you organize
Especially in
those
a swim
Minecraft
competition.
tests. Anyway, from looking at his swimming record,
What?
he took part in a lot
I
of
play Minecraft.
competitive races whilst pursuing
He'll
this
play Minecraft in the
interest,
future. Who knows?
being mainly active from 2008 to 2012 and taking part in a range of races like the 200-meter breaststroke to the 1,500-meter
What?
freestyle. However, his dream to be a competitive swimmer would be
Man.
short-lived, as in grade 12 he broke his back whilst playing
Ooh.
rugby, or football for those of you
Oh,
high
what?
cholesterol servers. But with his back being
the
broken,
fuck?
not only was he not able to
What'd I do to
continue
you,
swimming
man?
competitively,
God.
but he would experience lifelong issues such as chronic back pain as a result of
Yeesh.
the incident.
I broke my back playing
Oh.
rugby in grade 12.
That I wonder if
It's
he
all
still
good.
feels
It
it.
was a good learning experience. And then I was like, okay, shit. Well, now I know so much about the psychological effect of pain, and I'm in chronic pain all the time. Like, basically,
What?
I have trouble sleeping. Like, it's just my life.
Now, with his dreams
No
shattered, he would
way.
understandably be very depressed because of this, saying in other interviews
Dude,
he
he
didn't
hides it really
know what
fucking
to do with
well.
his life going
He's on
forward, and he
stage
was
pretty
only
frequently.
17 to 18
He's
at
dancing
this
around
time.
singing,
like,
having a
I
good
was an
vibes.
athlete, I used to be a competitive swimmer, and then I had to pretty
Jesus.
much give any
Crazy, he's still
goal
doing that.
of physical ability, kind of excellence or endurance plays, yada yada yada. Super depressed. You know, I had
Damn.
nothing going for me, literally nothing. You know, I'm not the most academically savvy individual.
However, even with this being
Valid,
the
I
worst
guess.
thing that
Shit.
could happen to him at that time,
I mean,
but
to
long-term,
anyone,
it
what?
would actually be one of the most crucial pivots in his life, as
a
whilst
blessing,
he
I
was
guess.
recovering, he began to explore other.
I don't know. I'm a big believer of I guess if you watch Full Metal Alchemist, equivalent exchange. For one thing, you must give up another. So for him to gain a career or a great fucking career, you have to go through a little bit of pain. Well,
hobbies.
horrible
One
it
of these
happened,
hobbies
but
involved writing
he got
poetry, which
he made
turned
fire.
into turning
He
said
made heat.
poetry into music. And
The
upon
Gen Z
jokingly
Eminem
recording
made
himself
heat.
singing with his friends, this is where he says
Ah.
he gained his new passion, which was making music.
Like, hey, let's go to my friend Seb's house. Smoked a ginormous
Sriracha,
blunt
fuck with me, dude.
and laughed over a Chief Keef type beat. And I was like, at that exact
Chief
moment,
Keef?
I
What
was
the
like,
fuck
I
is
want
that?
to do this for the rest of my life.
At around this point, he was 19 years old and began his studies at the University of British Columbia, studying kinesiology so he could eventually be a
Kinesiology.
chiropractor. As in his own words from
Hi.
breaking his back previously,
I know that
he
song.
sympathized with people going through the same issues and wanted
Remember
to
that
give
lyric.
something
I know
back.
that bar.
But at the same time, he had just joined
Look at the
his
picture of
first
BBno Money in the
band
back.
with his friends,
What is
which was
that?
called Broke Boy Gang, with his
Broke Boy
nickname in the
Band?
band
Oh
being
my, the
Baby
Broke Boy
Freestyle.
Gang.
However, because the name was so long and didn't fit
I
on
hear
his
about it
jersey that
sometimes.
they created for their
think it was
first
Nardwuar.
show, a friend would shorten the name so it would fit
Oh
on the
my God.
jersey to BBNO $, which he
BBno
interpreted
dollar
as
sign.
Baby No Money, and he thought it was actually quite catchy.
Fire.
So he used it from there onward, which is where he
That's
actually
heat.
got the name he uses to this day. But not too long after, the
Iconic,
band he
dude.
made with
It's
his
super
friends would break
impressionable.
up and no longer continue making
BBG.
music together. And Alex, or now Baby No Money, went on solo creating music on the platform SoundCloud. He
SoundCloud.
would see some success, but not
Some
as much
Spotify,
as
some
compared
SoundCloud.
to
That's
in
where I found him.
2016, when Jackson Yee, a member
Ooh.
of the Chinese dance and music group
The Chinese
TF
song.
Boys, used Alex's song Yo Yo Tokyo in
Yo
a
Yo
dance
Tokyo.
celebration for his 16th birthday. And as a
I've seen
result,
snippets,
he
but
went viral
not the whole song.
in China, and striking whilst the iron was hot, he decided to go to China and started doing shows and
Yo,
concerts there
yo,
while still being
yo,
a university
yo.
student. Following this success in 2017,
Gravy.
he collaborated with well-known artist Young Gravy and continued
The
making
duo.
more music,
The
even
duo of a
releasing a few
lifetime.
albums. But
Oh
once
my
again,
God.
none of this success would compare to what he would see in 2019.
Dude, those collabs was
with
like
the release of the song
just-
La La La,
just fucking
something
amazing.
he made in collaboration
La
with
La La.
Y2K
Oh
and was
my.
said to be heavily improvised.
Did I really just forget that melody?
But it was extremely popular.
Iconic!
Even to this day, it is still his most played song,
1
and the song many know
billion?
him for. Going past this, he would credit the song's success to platforms like TikTok, where instead of spending
On
money on
TikTok, you
things
got-
like labels
it
or
was crazy.
advertisements to push
lot
the
of on
song out,
TikTok.
he discovered all he really had to do was 1. Post about the song on TikTok, usually in the most basic way possible. 2. He got his existing fan base to
That's what a lot of
pick
people
up the
do.
song and push it out with their own content, which in turn would further advertise the song. And 3, Baby No
The
Money
edits,
learned
bro.
to integrate himself and his music
With
into
memes.
meme culture in a way that
Then it
music
became
labels
meme
at
rap.
the time couldn't, and if they did attempt it,
Eventually.
it came off as unorganic, failed horribly, and made the artist look like a industry plant. This would be a tool Baby No Money
Oh
would
my.
heavily use in the future when
This
launching new
TikTok.
music. Well, that and also mingling with other creators or influencers to not only push his music, but also expose himself to all areas of the internet, which later on was
Oh
a
my
blessing
God.
and a curse.
Some of them
But you
are
essentially
live
didn't have
streams,
to
which I
pay for
watch too.
advertising
They're
at
great.
all, as his fans and social media would do most of the work. And he took this a step
Yup.
further when he
They
made the
helped
choice
make
to
'em,
make some of
'cause
his
they love
music
them.
copyright free, meaning people that used his
Mhm.
music in their content could actually make money from it and not
The
have to
gravy
worry
content.
about it being
why I
restricted
played in my
or
streams.
all of said money being sucked away. Also meaning I could essentially blast one of his songs for the entire duration of this video
Mhm.
and apparently won't get copyrighted. This also meant people
mean,
would constantly use
I
his
wouldn't mind.
music,
Well.
especially animators and artists, in their content, as not only was his music somewhat catchy and involved in a lot of trends, but he would also
animations now.
regularly show
fucking
support
amazing.
and commission a lot of said artists, which incentivized them to do it more, which in turn
Mhm.
made his music more noticed. But
Yep.
that is the basic summary of where Baby
W
No Money
fucking
came
marketing.
from and how he got to where he is today. The only thing I didn't add was that he still ended up graduating from university
He
in
did?
2019 with a degree in kinesiology whilst also pursuing
Yo.
his music career. And he is still pushing out
What a
music
goat.
regularly with support from his large fan base. So why, after
Mhm.
saying all of this, is he so hated to the
That's
point
what I'm
wait
saying.
people
Why is
supported
bro
his
hated?
premature retirement from music?
you look at an insanely negative remark, people are calling me the Antichrist or like
What?
comparing me to Hitler. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know why. I think people just don't like my music, but like, I'm only here for positivity.
Now, as
Real,
said,
real,
Baby No
real.
Money, especially recently, has been getting a lot of hate. But is the hate forced, or is there actually a
AI,
reason behind it?
meme.
One of the main reasons people hate Baby No Money is down to his music itself.
What?
With some sharing the opinion it's just shit, with some describing it as straight NPC music or corny, and saying it's so bad that it's like
What?
auditory torture, and then there's
What
the
the fuck?
opinion that most of his recently released music just sounds all the same. Now obviously
I don't think
music
I don't know
is
about that,
subjective,
yeah.
and in my own opinion,
I love
yes,
the
the
music.
person
It's
has a
pretty good.
bipolar
Viva
music
Pinata.
taste. I don't think Baby No Money's
Vanilla.
music is that bad to the point where it's on the same level as some of the abominations that were made in the YouTube music and diss
no.
track era of the internet.
Compared
But
to
yeah,
every
his
other YouTuber
music
song?
isn't
Oh
that
my
bad. Would I
God.
listen to it on my own accord? Probably not. But to be
Well,
fair, his most recent song is a
diamond
change
pistons.
of pace. I'm not Anthony
No diamonds
Fantana
are
when it comes
forever.
to music. I'm most
my
definitely
gosh.
not bald. But it's different. It's not like any other music he's made and he may be going on a musical journey or character arc. But I don't think people hate
I swear
him
he's tried
and his
every
music down
type of
to
music
it
so
just
far.
sounding bad. I think it involves
always
other
makes a
factors
really
like
good
his
song.
advertising strategy, with the copious amount of posts he'll make on social media when he does have a
Dude.
new song, to the amount of
He
people he
posts
will
hella.
commission to make animated videos
And he
with
commissions
his
hella
music, to
artists.
him seemingly
He
collaborating
hates
with
AI.
every influencer that
Utter
has or
respect
has
for this man.
recently gained a large
I love my
following,
art.
and with him
I
and
love
his
it.
music being all over platforms like TikTok and YouTube, some people feel as though he's being forced down their throats and are experiencing so-called Baby
I mean, it's
No
your
Money
For You
fatigue,
page.
because they
What?
see him and hear his music so much they
It's your
may
For You
eventually
page.
get
It's for
tired
you,
of him
dude.
or even eventually begin to hate him as
What
a
the
result.
hell?
And I think this is just a symptom of his marketing strategy that does very well.
Yeah.
It covers a
It
lot
does
of
so
ground. It
well.
has spread
It goes
him
everywhere.
to almost all corners and communities of the internet. Hell, he was
Hot
even
topic.
in the game peak. His agent or
was.
whoever is setting up all these collabs needs to get
A
a
whole
fucking
concert in
promotion.
Peak.
But it has the trade-off of working
I
too well,
watched
where
it.
instead
It
of
was
people liking you,
good.
people start to get
was
tired
really
of
funny.
you, even if you are simultaneously doing good things like commissioning small and freelance artists. And it's not uncommon. We recently saw the Pedro Pascal fatigue,
What?
which was partially down to him being everywhere in every movie or show. And once again, Baby No
I
Money
mean,
has
if he's
received
good at
a lot
acting,
of
he's
benefits
gonna
from this
be in
effective
mostly
strategy, like not needing to
everything.
pay anything towards conventional advertisements like bigger music labels do. But it looks like it has come with the trade-off of people potentially seeing too much of him. Now, another reason people hate Baby No Money is with the claim he is performative, or as some call him, Baby No
Performative.
Backbone. First we
What?
had Jellywig, now we have this.
Jellywig.
Where are people coming up with these names? Now, this doesn't come from the
People
stunt
got a
I
lot of
mentioned
time.
before, where he said if he gets 1 million likes, he will quit music, and he ended up receiving
Okay,
4 times
probably
what
in
he
the
asked
airport.
for. And then he
Huh.
made a sad post saying he was leaving, and then a month later came back saying it was all a troll. Like, if you fell for
month
that and
break.
actually thought he was going
Time
to
to do
quit
whatever he
music
wanted.
forever, I don't know what to tell you,
Much need a
except I
break.
have some
This guy's
gas
everywhere.
station Viagra I could sell you. But this opinion some people harbour of him being performative and having no backbone has to do with multiple things and events. One of which being people think he only
Ooh.
follows the current thing at the time or has the safest takes imaginable. An example of this being his opinion on AI, as if you didn't know he is heavily against AI art, and he thinks
Yeah.
you should always support and commission real artists instead, which is a
Very
very
big
popular
advocate.
opinion and a
Advocate.
take nobody really has a problem with.
To all the AI artists in my DMs
They're
complaining
so
about the
rampant,
post that I
though.
made yesterday, go fuck yourself.
It's
Learn
like
to draw.
But the
everywhere.
problem some people
AI
have with
art is
this is the
everywhere.
amount of times he has posted about said opinion. He has done it quite a lot, and I think at this point people understand what his stance is on AI art, and they don't need to be constantly reminded of it. And people have pointed out he does this a lot.
Does he really?
I agree with that. What are your
I see it
plans
every
for
once in a
cleaning
while.
up our environment?
What about our
Music Man.
traffic problem?
But you could say this is
I
down to
barely
his
see it,
own gripe
personally.
with AI generation, as he's supposedly had people involve him in concerning AI videos. But another
What?
controversy that goes with this critique
Like
of
what?
BBno Money is regarding his art competition he held 7 months ago, where the
He
winner
does
would
them all
have
the
their
time.
art used for the cover of his new song and would also receive $1,000. Now that sounds like a straightforward competition.
Yeah.
You make a piece of art and
simple.
you have a chance of both getting exposure and a lot of money.
Damn, someone did a
But
time
this
lapse?
innocent competition ended up with him receiving a lot of shit because BBno Money is very vocal about supporting smaller artists over things like AI. But from my understanding, some people got mad because he did not compensate a lot of the artists that contributed to said competition, and some saw it as him
What?
taking advantage of his community for free publicity from the people that didn't win but still did hours of work and publicly submitted work for the competition. But as said, he got a lot of
mean,
shit for this, and it was a big deal, at
for
least on
that.
TikTok. And
Hold
some
on.
tried to push the narrative he is
I feel like for that, yeah, you may not get paid for it because it's a contest. It's one of those where only the top guy gets paid, but like, you still get like clout yourself for being part of the contest. You'll get tons of likes, you'll get tons of views, and you'll most likely somehow get paid for it through TikTok if you get enough followers enough. I think the threshold's like 10,000 or something like that, and then you just get paid eventually. It's like you gotta like give something up to get something else, you know? Again, equivalent exchange. Full Metal, hey, realistic, what can I say?
performative and actually
Yes.
doesn't care about his fans or smaller artists, and that he just wanted to push his own music. But to be fair, it is an art competition, and in no way
Art
did he ever say he was
competition.
going to compensate anyone but the winner. And this guy
Yeah.
is known to commission tons of artists
He
for
commissions
his
people just in
projects,
general.
to the point where he's probably single-handedly preventing the TikTok art community from going homeless. But
Probably.
even through the hate, he did advertise a lot of the artwork that people submitted, and he eventually did choose the winner of the competition, to the dismay of people who thought others should have won, or that it was rigged, or ironically
Yeah.
some accusing others of using AI. But that controversy and situation is nothing compared to the next one, as
What?
it arguably caused the most
Oh,
backlash for
this
BBno
one.
Money and
I
was
don't
the
know
main
much, but
piece of evidence
I
to
heard
support
about
the
it.
name
A
BBno
smidge.
Backbone. So on the 29th of May 2025, he would launch a song called Mary Poppins. There
Poppins.
wasn't really anything wrong with the
What
song
the-
itself, it was like his usual
remember
music,
that part.
nothing really was different. But at the beginning of the
Mhm.
music video,
They
there
did start
was
with a
a
warning.
message saying a certain person had been censored, as BBno
Mm.
Money was unaware of their ethical beliefs at the time of filming with them. And throughout the
right.
video, you see this PNG lizard moving around the screen.
Yup.
And that person was the streamer and content creator
Asmongold.
Asmongold,
Yup.
or as he's more commonly known as the Roach King, or Nagel's offspring. But it was thought he was mainly censored because of some of the opinions he has, mainly political takes.
A lot
And 7
of
months prior to the
opinions.
release of this video, he was banned on Twitch and got a lot of backlash for some things he
He
said
was
regarding
banned?
the Israel-Palestine conflict, of which he did later apologize, but it's unclear
It's
if it was due
crazy.
to this he was censored, or perhaps due
So much
to other
garbage in the back.
instances or opinions he shared in the past, as he has implemented
Actual
more
garbage
politics
is
into his
around him.
content, at least compared to other years. And he has ruffled a lot of feathers, to say the least. But I think in
A
this situation,
ton.
BBno
It's
Money would have
crazy.
probably been fucked either way. If he didn't censor Asmongold, people would just for some reason assume he fully supports him and agrees with everything he says. And if he did censor Asmongold, of which he did, you get the fallout which we saw after the release of it, which I'll get into in a second. But the only way I see BBno Money negating all backlash from this from both sides would be him probably making the sacrifice of not releasing or replacing the full video for the music, which would be him
Yup.
essentially pissing away a bunch of money and effort, which is also quite the
ton.
loss. So it probably wasn't the most straightforward
Ton of
decision,
people's
but
time,
either
too.
way it means Asmongold made the sacrifice of coming out of his RuneScape dungeon for no reason. However, with censoring Asmongold, as you'll see in the comments of the music video, he went about doing it in the worst way possible because it sticks out more than anything, and just in general creates its own stride
'Cause
and
he
effect, which was
probably was,
probably
like, the
the
main
opposite
guy
of
in
what
the-
he
in the
wanted to
video.
happen. I think simply just blurring his face would have made a better choice and made him stand out less. But a lot of people pointed this out in the comments to the point where it's the only thing talked about in said comment section, and nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about the music at all. I think if he didn't even bother censoring
I mean, engagement is
Asmongold at this
engagement, I
point, yes,
guess.
he would have been condemned by another group of people, but I don't think people would have noticed as much, and it wouldn't have consumed the comments as much as having a dragon in the music video. But it was his music video, he can do whatever he
Holy.
wants with it. But how did
Yeah,
that make
do
people
whatever.
come to the conclusion he's performative or that he has no backbone? Well, people pointed to a clip at a Twitch show where BBno Money was on stage, and he ripped his shirt open to reveal he had a painting of Asmongold on his chest and proclaimed
do remember
Asmongold was
that.
his favorite
I
streamer.
remember that.
My favorite streamer without indubious question is fucking Asmongold, baby!
And some people saw this and thought he had no backbone because he previously said he was his favorite streamer and now he's censoring him in his music video. But with context, this clip of him with the
Man, it
painting
doesn't look
was
good.
from the start of 2024, and the filming of the music video
Oh,
itself
wow,
was
yeah.
also
2
a
years
few
ago now.
months after this in
Yeesh.
May, and Asmongold's main controversy was towards the end of 2024 in October. Now it's fair to make the argument that over time people's opinions of others
He
can
was his
change,
favorite streamer,
or on the other
damn.
side that even before him getting banned, Asmongold has always been vocal about his beliefs. So was BBno Money really a fan, or did he just not notice? But people also pointed to BBno Money's collab with Hassan, which at the time was before the whole Colligate thing. But I think
This was
even
everywhere
after
for
Colligate,
months. I
he
forgot
has
it
had some
happened.
other
After a
collaborations with
while.
Hassan, but
After
it
all the
led some
memes
to
said
question
and done,
why
it
he would
gets
censor
forgotten.
Asmongold but collaborate with someone who in their eyes is said to have extreme views or is just as controversial as Asmongold. And people also pointed out apart from Asmongold, there is a lot of other people that could have also been censored, with the most named being Mizkif, which was before the Emaru situation,
makes
but he
a
still had a
lot
lot
of
of
sense. Yeah, I forgot
controversy
about him.
surrounding him at the time,
Doesn't
and a
stream
lot
on
of
Twitch
people
anymore,
still
does he?
returned after
I
the
forgot he
Emaru
got banned.
situation, saying they definitely now have a reason to censor him. However, with this situation, Asmongold himself didn't really seem to care, and in fact understood why he would do it.
There's no ill will or any sort of like negativity about it. I just think that he doesn't want to be involved with my politics, and it was like from kind of a long time ago. And again, I like BBno Money. I don't have any ill will towards him. I thought he's a great guy. I've talked to him multiple times. If he doesn't want to promote the kind of content that I do in my videos, that's his professional decision and that's his career. I'm not going to expect people to put their career on the line.
But that was another reason why people
very honorable.
potentially dislike BBno Money or think he's performative.
I was like, bro, I have like 1,000 hours on Terraria. He's like, me too. I
Bro
was like,
loves WoW.
The fuck you mean
That's-
you
that's
two?
what I remember.
I was like,
He
a
loved
fellow
WoW.
Terrarian in the flesh?
So with all this said, does BBno Money deserve the hate he receives? In my opinion, no, not really. A lot of the hate, I think,
He
comes
really
down to
does
him just being
not.
everywhere, which is
Yeah,
his primary
if you see a
marketing
person
strategy, and I
enough,
don't
you're gonna
think
hate
his
him.
music is that bad that you have to immediately turn it off to prevent ear damage. His usual music is not my cup of tea, but I do think his most recent song is actually something I would listen to and actually pretty good. And I think BBno Money himself hasn't really got into any serious controversies to deserve the amount of hate he has got. And once again, with the Mary Poppins video, I think he was going to get backlash either way. But with the amount of hate he recently has been receiving, it's got to the point where he himself has picked up on it and talked about it multiple times, which is not entirely the best idea. I think it only increases said hate. And sometimes, yeah, the hate is often going to sound louder than the support he receives. But from the outside, he has a lot of fans that love his music, and I don't think he really has anything to worry about. But yeah, those are the main reasons people hate BBno Money. It was interesting to look at his story, and that's basically it. I hope you go sound to a fishing hook, and that's all I really had to say, and bye-bye.
Damn. That's where the hate stems from. Jesus. Royalty is here. I know this guy through VR chat videos, because those were basically, I don't even know how to call them. They were exposés. Yeah, that's the one. God damn. Didn't know the BBno Money hate was so strong. I knew it existed, but I can't believe it was so stupid. Because I personally love BBno Money. He's been my top just song player. My dude, that sounds so stupid. He's my top artist every year on my Spotify Wrapped. It's always top 0.01% of listeners or something like that. But you know, whatever. It's over. It's past, I guess. But you can't make everyone happy. Someone's always gonna be pissed or some shit. So hey, whatever. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Let me know what you thought. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Right now. Catch you guys on the flip side. See ya.